Hey there, and welcome back to the Real Mockery YouTube channel. Thanks so much for using the site and watching these videos. Without you, none of this would be possible. Okay, so I finally finished watching Harrow's second season. In this video, I'm going to give you a rundown of the biggest takeaways. Some big things happened, and I'll say that not all of them were good. Well, let's start from the beginning. Francis Chester. If you remember last season, Daniel was shot on his boat. The second season sees him searching for the shooter. He turns out to be convicted killer Francis Chester. The entire season turns into a back and forth between Francis and Daniel. Few people believe Daniel. They suspect that Francis has died in a prison fire. That's what Maxine believes. Brian is skeptical as well. Eventually, Francis sets up Fern. She's arrested after he plants fentanyl in her apartment. Stephanie blames Callan. Surprisingly, Callan has been working at a restaurant with Francis, who now goes by the name Frank. Francis turns out to be a great nemesis for Daniel. I'll try to stay away from spoilers if possible. I'll just say that the finale is freaking awesome. It could easily be one of the best finales I've seen in a long time. We'll get into that a little bit later, though. Another big takeaway is Sora Das is gone. Lord, I hope I'm saying that name right, because I know I'll get all kinds of bad comments. Anyway, she never even appears in this season. She's replaced by Lyle's niece, Dr. Grace Molyneux. The character is portrayed by Jolene Anderson. Obviously, she's going to develop a relationship with Daniel. Midway through the season, Daniel gives up his attempt to prove that Francis is alive. However, Fern and Simon begin working on it. Fern gets arrested once again. This time, she's accused of something much worse. As for Simon, he uncovers the truth. Sadly, the secret goes to his grave. Yep, I can't believe it, but the writers did it. Simon is gone. Francis killed him just a few episodes before the finale. They attempt to replace Simon with Edwina. We'll get into that a little bit later on. There are a few twists and turns here and there. Another thing to note is that the writers are potentially preparing for a third season. At the end of the finale, a dead body is found. It is suspected that the boy could be Daniel's son. Unfortunately, another season has not yet been confirmed. Okay, now let's get into my opinion. If you don't want to hear it, hit mute or click the X right now. There are two things I didn't like about this season. One is new, and the other has been plaguing this show from the start. First up, Simon Van Reek is dead. I think Remy He's departure might have something to do with his career exploding. He was in Crazy Rich Asians and Spider-Man Far From Home. I love the Simon character. If it was Remy's decision to leave, I'll understand his death. Still, I'm not too pressed with Edwina yet. Faustina Goli comes off as arrogant at times. Other times, she looks like she's bored with the role. In other words, she is no Simon. Nowhere near it. She might get better later on. We'll wait and see. The second thing that irks me with the show is the cases. I'm not a big fan of the show's procedural approach. It feels like Ripper Street's first few seasons. It was tough to get into things. There's really no glue holding things together. Harrow tries to tackle this problem by focusing on the main storyline 5, 10, or sometimes 15 minutes per episode. Still, it just isn't enough. The season would have been much better, if it focused more on the main story. This is clearly evident in the past 2 episodes. These were the best episodes of the season. Why? Well, they focused on Francis and Daniel. Ripper Street was nearly canceled, twice if I remember correctly, before it finally changed things up. When it did, that show got a heck of a lot better. I think Harrow needs to do the same. If the show focused on the main storyline, I'm confident it could easily be one of Australia's best shows. Nevertheless, I enjoyed the season. It was tough to make it through, but it paid off in the long run. The cast was good from top to bottom. I'll definitely watch a third season if one comes out, and I kind of hope it does. With the changes I just pointed out. What do you think? Did you enjoy the season? Would you watch a third? Let me know, and thanks again for watching.